Okay, so good morning. We're going to get started with the retrospective, and we'll defer our launching into our first model of the day, used in GIS, for a few more minutes while the plague of mice are being tapped and sought out, and while we are waiting a few more people. So I wanted to express my appreciation for those who stayed yesterday for the poster session. That was the first time that we undertook that in conjunction with this boot camp. It came out of Jeff's ideas, and I hereby declare it a great success, and I don't think I'm alone in that regard. The posters hint at some of the diversity of projects pursued by those of my groups, with teams extending well outside that, and many of those posters are further the basis for case studies, which will be featured in coming days, in the balance of the days of the boot camp. For those case studies, we're going to be having two case studies that are plenary case studies starting today. There's going to be a case study coming out of our Ministry of Health with my student Yuan Tian and Graham Fast, the head of the manager for the ED Waits and Patient Flow project from our Ministry of Health, who are going to come this afternoon and talk about the exciting, but maybe even more importantly, impactful work that's going on with our ministry in characterizing the system-wide causes for drivers and opportunities for dealing with long ED waits here in our province. It's longstanding work now on putting in place fixes that stay fixed with useful models that actually get used in a team context, and there'll be much to learn from that this afternoon. They'll be coming to the room today at 3 p.m. Tomorrow, we're very fortunate to have one of my students, Anahita Safa, who will be presenting on some of the work she's done most recently, which Alan started and will also be presenting on. Alan was just here. There he is outside, and is responsible for a very large part of the model involving work with the Australian Capital Territories Health for diabetes, and both during gestational diabetes, and its impact on diabetes and health throughout the life course, and intergenerationally. This is a mechanistic level model that brings together very detailed modeling of aspects of physiological evolution, particularly beta cell mass and function, glucose insulin interactions on the one hand, with population level, population health concerns on the other. It's a model that is very evidence grounded, and that speaks to both the breadth of what you can characterize in a single model and simultaneously depth, but also the potential policy impacts. And so Alan and Anahita will be working to sort of share with you some aspects of this model during the session, same time session tomorrow, 3 to 4. I'm going to solicit from those present and those who will be present some indications of interest for additional case studies, many of which are related to the posters last night. They include Anahita's, again, extraordinary work with particle filtering applied to search behavior. And increasingly we're looking at social media as well, and some work with Refine, to clue us into outbreaks of concern with respect to infectious diseases and also with respect to suicidal ideation. We have the potential for case studies involving similar tools showing the extraordinary power to anticipate many outbreaks when connected with childhood infectious diseases. We have further case studies that center around a number of additional models that we've been conducting in a number of areas, and I'll be asking people to indicate their interest. Some of these speak to topics which others have heard from me about in other forums, namely the link with big data and modeling, either in the form of social media, search behavior, in the form of our smartphone-based data collection, and applications of machine learning and computational statistics to bring that data together. So we have a number of case studies, most of them of necessity to avoid an overly large opportunity cost. We plan to run as parallel sessions. So some of the people in the audience who may be less interested in the more advanced material that's coming up, details of exactly how you create 2D histograms to display sensitivity analysis results, or how to use a database, or how you get output directly into a spreadsheet. Details of sort of calibration. You might be interested instead in attending case studies as an alternative. And so we'd like an expression of interest for different case studies so we can schedule them during the day in a way that will be attended well, but at the same time they won't take us away from too many events coming up in the main sessions. So I'm going to ask for your voting today on this issue. I was also very glad to see yesterday some of the projects being pushed forward. We saw a lot of work going on projects, and that's one of the foremost goals of this boot camp, so I was very happy to see it. If you have any concerns about the teams formed around your projects, if you're seeking additional help and you're finding you'd like to get a different voice from the TA side to complement things, if you'd like to get a visit by Jeff or I or Kurt on Windshield, please let me know, and we'll try to make sure that this happens today. We've got a long session starting after lunch, working around the Ministry of Health presentation to address project needs, and we want to make sure you get far down the pike today and in coming days. So please let us know how we can provide additional support. Okay. We do have a variety of TA resources that can be leveraged. Okay. So those were some sort of more administrative comments with respect to yesterday. I'm actually going to record those here in a self-contained video, and then I'm going to reflect on some of the material from yesterday.